Hello and welcome back to Urban Air Gunner. Today I'm going to show you how to install the Hill Airgun De-pigner into your Benjamin Marauder pistol. And this is what the De-pigner looks like right here. Before we begin, let's make sure the gun is safe to work on. So I'm just going to unload the gun right here, take the magazine out. Make sure that the gun is absolutely unloaded, which it is. Take it off safe. I'm going to decock it. Put it back on safe. Alright guys, before we begin, there's going to be a few tools you're going to need to make this installation happen. The first is an adjustable wrench. Now you could use a standard traditional open-end wrench, but if you're like me, all your standard wrenches are in a big pile and it takes a while to sort through them. So this was the easiest thing I found. And what you're going to be using this for is to unscrew the end of the air cylinder. The next thing you're going to need is some sort of dowel. I went to the hardware store and bought this 5/8 inch dowel. Now this is the perfect diameter to slide our De-pigner all the way back to the end of the air tube. With our wooden dowel, there's just one little thing of prep work I want to do to it. Since it is wood, and you don't probably need to do this, but since I know that PCP air rifles can be finicky if something gets in there, and this being wood, I don't want a little sliver of wood or some sawdust flaking off, damaging, the valves or anything in there. I'm just going to take a little bit of painter's tape, tape up the end of this. And like I say guys, this might just be me being paranoid, but I would rather be safe than sorry. And simple as that, my dowel rod is completely taped up, so now I'm not worried about any little debris or particles of wood getting in my air cylinder and jamming up my gun. And those are the only two things that we're going to need. Alright, let's get back to the installation. And this is my Benjamin Marauder pistol, and it might look a little different from yours because I've put some things on it. That's okay, it doesn't really matter. Right here, what I have on the end of mine is the Hill Airgun large volume suppressor. It makes the gun whisper quiet. It's very awesome. So first I need to remove this so I can have access to the air cylinder reservoir so I can put the De-pigner in. So it's very simple, just unscrew it. You want to make sure that there's an O-ring in here. You want to make sure you don't lose that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the factory end cap back on the gun just to keep it all nice and seated in there. When you get your Hill Airgun De-pigner, it comes with instructions. And they read, make certain the air gun is unloaded. And we've done that. Silicone has already been applied to the De-pigner. Degas the gun, unscrew the fill adapter housing, insert the De-pigner into the pressure tube with the large opening first. Using a wooden dowel or plastic pipe, something that will not scratch, continue to push the De-pigner until you feel it stop against the gauge port and then reassemble the gun. So according to the instructions, our very next step is to make sure the gun's degassed. Simplest way is just to shoot the air out. And I am actually at right around 1,000 PSI, so I'm going to shoot the air out and come back to you when it's ready to work on. And you can hear it when it starts to run out of air. It starts making a weird little noise, so I can tell that we're almost out. I'm pretty sure we're out of air right now. Reads that we're on to 0, so we're safe to go. Alright, now that the gun is completely degassed, it's safe to work on and it's safe to remove the end cap to the air reservoir. Alright, just remove your protective end cap, set that to the side. Now to make this process a little easier for me, I'm actually going to go ahead and remove the outer barrel shroud to give me just a little more room to turn the wrench. Make sure when you're taking this off that you don't lose any O-rings because there's some on each end that are very important. And I've just checked, all my O-rings are still in place. So I'm just going to set this to the side and I'm going to zoom in so you guys can get a close-up of what I'm actually going to be doing right now. Alright, we're going to be taking this guy off right here. And now you can see the extra room we gained by taking the barrel shroud off. I think that'll be really key to helping this come off a lot easier. Slide your wrench on. this side. side. Yeah, and I can even spin it off with my fingers right now. And what I've done is I've just adjusted the wrench down so I can now just grab on. I'm not actually unscrewing the fill port nipple. I am just using it to kind of turn easier. It's a lot easier than getting the wrench in there. I'm just going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to use this 11mm socket just to give me a better thing to grip on. And absolutely no gas is escaping, which is why it was so key to degas the gun. It just makes it safer. I'm actually going to leave it in the socket so I can set it right down so I don't have to worry about it rolling around, picking up dirt or dust, falling off the edge of my table. Just going to put it here and off to the side. This might not be a necessary step, but it's one that I'm going to take just because I have some gloves on hand. The Hill Airgun De-pigner comes with silicone already on it. I'm just going to take it out using the glove so I don't get anything on it, push it down in there just a little bit, and then grab my taped up dowel rod and seat the De-pigner to the back of the air reservoir. So when you take your Hill Airgun De-pigner out, there's going to be a large opening here on one end, a small opening on the other end, and a O-ring on the same end that the small opening is on. You want to put it in the gun so the large opening is going in first, the small opening with the O-ring is going in last. It goes in like this. And just a little bit of pressure to get past the first threads. When it is in the gun and you're looking at it, it should look just like this. Get my rod out. I'm going to position the gun like this just so I have a little more leverage on it. Oh, and there we go. And it's in. It went in that far. I'm not sure how far that is, but that's as far as it went in. That's as far as I'm gonna push it. Gonna grab our air reservoir cap, put it back into the gun. Make sure it's going in correct, that it's not cross-threaded. And I don't know if I said it before, but this is an 11mm socket that I'm using. Okay, so we snugged it up really nice there. And just putting a decent amount of pressure back on it, just to make sure it's sealed. Let's put our barrel shroud back on. Put our end cap back on for now, just for now. And on the instructions it says to cock the rifle before you fill it back up with air. Put our end cap back on. Get my suppressor. Put my O-ring back on my suppressor, the end of my suppressor. You can put it here or you can put it back in the barrel. This suppressor is actually a Hill Airgun suppressor, and it does make the gun insanely whisper quiet. When I contacted Tim Hill, when I had questions about everything, he took the time and had the patience to answer all my questions, and believe me, I probably wore his patience down a little bit. It didn't bother him one bit. He was happy to do it, happy to help out every step of the way. I hope this video was very helpful and informative, giving you the confidence to go right ahead and install your De-pigner. The only thing left to do now is take the gun out, see how it shoots. Alright, here we go. Now that's what I call backyard friendly. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Bye. Seeing how this is an Armada, we don't have a barrel band. Or do we? It does an alright job, but it doesn't do the best job, and that's why we're replacing it right now. Whatever you call this thing. I never know what to call this thing.